Ms. Monica Sharma is a passionate educator currently working as academic coordinator of Smart Wonders School, Mohali. She has Masters in Hindi, Masters in Mass Communication and Journalism, and Masters in Education. She also has Postgraduate Diploma in Human Rights and has done Certificate Course in International Child Rights from EDX. She has more than 17 years of teaching and administrative experience in the field of education. She is the recipient of many prestigious awards like Star Teacher Award and Extra Mile Award. Hearty welcome to Ms. Monica Sharma. Please take over the stage.
Thank you so much, AI, for introducing me. I'm really overwhelmed. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome. Greetings from Extra Mile to our esteemed group of educators. Extra Mile, under the visionary leadership of Dr. Abdul Salam of BTAG, is a premier platform offering both online and offline training with a robust network of expert trainers. Extra Mile is equipped to deliver both online and offline training with a robust network of expert trainers. Dear educators, before we begin, a few points for the smooth webinar. Please use the chat box for any queries during the session. And there is a dedicated question and answer round at the end. Please raise your virtual hands to ask questions. A Google form for the certificates and feedback will be shared at the end. So we'll request you to use the same. And of course, let's go ahead with the program. So at the outset, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Abdul Salam and Extra Mile for this wonderful opportunity. And I extend a warm welcome to all the participants as we embark on this journey. And during today's session, we will be we'll be getting the knowledge about chemistry, especially by a renowned resource person who is a distinguished personality, Ms. Sojanya Yepuri, who will share her expertise and whatever there is in her pocket, in his mind, in his knowledge, she will be discussing the same with all of us. And it is my now privilege to introduce Dr. Abdul Salam, a renowned CBSE resource person and a master trainer who has made remarkable contributions to the field of education. Dr. Salam also serves as an assessor for the National Accreditation Board of Education and Training under the Government of India. As the founder and CEO of Extra Mile Education and Training and Bharat Transformer Academic Group, he has been a beacon of inspiration in the education sector. Good evening, Salam sir. May I request you to please deliver welcome address.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Monica ma'am, Ms. Saujanya, Biju sir, and all teachers, heads, and students who have joined. Welcome to Extra Mile Education and Training. And Monica ma'am, welcome back to this platform after a long time. And we are proud
Thank you,
to
sir.
present, we are proud to present Ms. Saujanya from Akshara International School. And I owe this, occasion to Saujanya's leader, the great principal Mridula Mahajan. So gratitude to her for introducing Saujanya ma'am to us. Thank you so much for offering this session. Dear participants, teachers and students, definitely you will like this session as madam has prepared very wonderfully with all tips and all the covering all the aspects of the examination. We will have deep discussion on the syllabus and the various aspects, including blueprint and all. And we would like to request to everyone to make this an interactive session. You can interact through the chat box and ask your questions. At the end of the session presentation, there will be a question and answer session. Please make use of the opportunity to clear all your doubts before proceeding to write the examination. All the very best to all the teachers and students, and very best to Saujanya ma'am. Thank you once again. Over to Monica. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Salam, for your inspiring words and, of course, for setting the perfect tone for today's session. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are also honored to have with us Mr. Biju S. Pillai. the co-founder of BTAC, with his extensive experience as principal of renowned CBSE schools and his impactful contributions to the education sector. Mr. Pillai's presence is truly a privilege. Sir, I now invite you to address the gathering and share your valuable insights, please.
Thank you, Monica, ma'am. Wonderful evening to all. Respected Director of Extra Mile Education, Dr. Abdul Salam, sir. Today's resource person, Saujanya, ma'am, and all other respected personalities of different reputed schools and my dear children. So, as 1 week before, we have come across with the science examination point of view. Poonam Saxena ji has taken the class for science. Now today for senior secondary, we have come with chemistry. So my dear children, you actually know that chemistry is a little bit difficult for most of the children. And whenever we tell chemistry and physics are the area where they quite often lose marks. So children take the maximum advantage of today's class because Saujanya ma'am is ready with highly experienced ma'am with all the ability to clear all your doubts. So let the evening be more effective for all the educators and children, those who are going to appear for the board examination. So wishing you all the very best for the board examination also. And be prepared to have a discussion with the ma'am also, so that you can clear all your doubts and you can give, and you will gain more confidence for the coming board examination. Thank you. Thank you all. Back to Monica.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. So, dear educators, we now move to the highlight of today's webinar. We are delighted to welcome our esteemed resource person, Miss Saujanya Yepuri, an accomplished educator and, of course, catalyst for change in the field of education. Ma'am holds the degree of MSc in chemistry, MPhil, and B.Ed, consistently excelling as a renowned person, as a topper throughout her academic journey. An experience of over 2 decades in teaching chemistry, achieved a remarkable 100% result. And of course, ma'am's students has scored more than 100 at many times during the examination, 100 marks, a complete score. So that's really wonderful. And ma'am is currently working as a senior secondary coordinator, HOD and PGT chemistry, playing a pivotal role in academic and administrative leadership. NABET accreditation coordinator, and is contributing significantly to instructional excellence. So, ma'am is an absolute privilege to have ma'am. We all are here, and ma'am is going to lead today's session. And of course, we are all going to talk about the chemistry, which is very difficult for many, but yes, very easy for many. And I'm sure that ma'am will explain each and everything properly and so in detail that we'll be able to solve all our problems, and definitely we'll go ahead with preparations of 2024 examinations. So I extend a heartfelt welcome to you, ma'am, and we are eagerly looking forward to gaining invaluable insights from you and to listen from you. So the floor, the screen is all yours. Welcome, ma'am.
It always seems impossible until it's done. A happy evening to all the esteemed educators and my dearest students. Thank you, Ms. Monica, for your sweet introduction. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. Salam sir and Biju sir for giving me this opportunity today. I am extremely delighted and proud to be part of this prestigious platform, Extra Mile Education and Training. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
A warm welcome to all the educators and students for today's session on periodic path to excel in board examination for class 10 and class 12. Without much ado, let us see the discussion points for the session. I believe that students should have good mental hygiene to achieve success. So we will have a discussion on inculcating positive mindset. Then we will discuss about accomplishing the first milestone, that is practical examination, followed by paper pattern and trend analysis for theory examination. Then we will proceed, Then we'll proceed to understand about the basic preparation every student should be ready with, followed by strategies for weak and advanced learners, then some revision tips. Then we will discuss about some common mistakes that can be avoided, which has been done by our previous batches. And then we understand the D-Day time management strategies, and finally, the secrets of path to success and some FAQs. Dear educators, who do you think will be successful? Is it the student who is always stressed, who thinks, I cannot do it, it's impossible, I will not achieve success even if I work hard? Or is it the other student who is active, enthusiastic, who believes in themselves? You want to answer in the chat window? I guess I have another tab here open for the chat. So anybody? Very good. Absolutely. Thank you, Shailesh Kumar. Yeah. So the second student, right? So as educators, we must bring about the positivity in every child. So identify the person on the slide and write your answers again in the chat window. Anybody can identify? Okay. No problem. So it's Edmund Hillary, whose story every student should remember when they face challenges. In the year 1950, Hillary had a dream of standing on the top of the world. On his first attempt to reach the summit of Everest, Hillary faced harsh weather, freezing temperatures, and physical exhaustion. After months of strenuous effort, he was forced to turn back just a few hundred meters from the top. Imagine how devastated he must have felt. He had worked so hard, yet failure seemed to be staring him in the face. But he did not give up, and he just did the opposite. He began to talk to himself. Instead of saying, I failed, I'm not good enough, he said, I have learned from this. I can do better next time. This is a positive self-talk, is what has given him the strength to try again. He didn't focus on the failure. Instead, he focused on his ability to improve. Now think about the mindset Hillary had when he faced the towering mountain the next time. When every person of his time felt it an impossible target, challenge, Hillary saw it as something to conquer, not something to fear. His positive mindset wasn't about denying the difficulty. It was about believing that he could find a way to make it happen. Every step, every setback, every obstacle, he believed that each one of this is part of success, part of the process. Instead of saying, this is too hard, he thought, I am capable and I will take it one step at a time. That mindset gave him the courage to push forward, even though the journey was tough, and he didn't hesitate to take help. In the year 1953, Hillary, along with Tenzing Norgay, reached the summit of Mount Everest. The impossible became possible and became one of the greatest outcomes in the history, because Hillary had the right mindset and the right words running through his mind. This is what every student should do. Whenever there is a difficult situation, it may be a difficult topic or a difficult question. So don't let negative thoughts win over you. Remember Hillary. If he can achieve the impossible, you can do the same. Your positive self-talk and positive mindset will always give you positive outcome. I believe that if every educator is able to put conscious efforts to motivate their students, we will never have failures. We will only see happy and successful students. And that should be the vision of for all of our students. Now that students are self-motivated, let's see how we can guide them to excel in chemistry board examination. So in class 12, we have two parts. Chemistry, practical is for 30 marks and for theory is for 70 marks. And as educators, our main goal has to be to guide every student to score a perfect 30 in practical. And the goal of every student should be to score maximum in the practical. So let's understand the expectations of external examiner for the practical examination. As you can see on the slides, the practical part is divided into 3 experiments. The volumetric is for 8 marks, salt analysis for 8 marks, content-based experiment for 6 marks, followed by you need to do an investigatory project for 4 marks, class record and viva for 4 marks. So let's understand for the first experiment, volumetric. What is the examiner seeing in your answer sheet to award you 8 marks? So you need to learn the ionic equations thoroughly, oxidation, reduction, and overall reaction. Then you need to clearly, detailed way mention the preparation of standard solution, whether it is M by 20 KMnO4 or M by 50 KMnO4, whatever is given to you in the question paper. Then your concordant reading. We have 2 titrations, right? One is KMnO4 versus more salt. The other is KMnO4 versus oxalic acid. So when you're titrating, that is where you need to have precision in your performance. If you're getting 3 concordant readings, that is where your marks will be awarded. I hope all of you are aware that concordant reading doesn't mean an average reading. It is 3 exactly same readings. And then you do all the calculations systematically. The important aspect here is you need to write the result, even though you are doing the calculations, mention the result with the units, molarity in mole per liter and strength in gram per liter. The salt analysis, again, salt will be given to you. You have been studying salt analysis from your grade 11 itself. And you have to write very systematically physical examination followed by dry heating test, followed by flame test. And then you're going to identify acidic radical, give 2 confirmatory tests for acidic radical, followed by basic radical. Again, you give 2 confirmatory tests for basic radical. Then result, as I emphasized here also, the result is very important. And then all the positive tests that you have got for acidic and basic radical equations are important. The last experiment, as per CBSE, we have lots of experiments, but the important experiments that you have to prepare thoroughly is organic functional group analysis. It is something which you learn theoretically also. So lots of viva questions come from this organic chemistry. So organic functional group analysis, systematically you will write same way. You write 2 functional positive tests and you have to write equations after writing your result. The second experiment that you can get is carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. It has to be written systematically in the same way, or you may have a chromatography. Then our investigatory project, this is how you have to prepare your investigatory project file. You are expected to do proper experimentation in your labs, and then a project file has to be submitted. You need to definitely impress your external examiners. So you need to spirally bound it and have the project written in systematic way. It can be a printout also. So this question is for all the educators. How should we guide our students for practical viva? If with your experience, if you want to share something in the chat window. Okay. So we don't have any answers, so I'll be guiding you again. Viva questions, you have to prepare from your practical manual. Your school must have recommended you for a practical manual, be it comprehensive chemistry or together with or NCERT. So study after each experiment, there are Viva questions given in it. Prepare it thoroughly. Then you have practical concepts linked with the theory. So especially the organic part, the differentiating test between aldehydes, ketones, or the 3-degree amines or the 3-degree alcohols. So all these you need to study. And the questions based on your investigatory project also you will be having. So this is about the practical. I guess all of you are clear. And if you have any doubts, you can write on the chat window also. So moving on to our theory part. So right now we are going ahead with 12 standard. After that, we will be doing for 10 standard also. So theory marks is for 70. So this is the paper pattern given by CBSE for 24-25. So this is the same paper pattern which we had last year also. We have section A multiple choice questions, of which 12 are MCQs, and we have 4 as assertion reason types here. And then in constructed based questions, we have 2 markers are 5 in number, 3 markers are 7 in number, and then we have 2 4-mark case-based questions, which are divided as 1, 1, and 2 marks. And then in the 2 marker in both the questions, you are having internal choice. And then we have 5 marker questions. There are 3. So one will be from organic, one from inorganic, and one from physical chemistry. And you have internal choice for all the 3 5-marker questions. And you have 1 internal choice for 2 marker and 1 in 3 marker. So this is our question paper design given by CBSE. So as per Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 levels. We know that. So the first level, this is remembering and understanding. It comes as low order. And this low order goes to 40%. So 28 marks out of 70, you get questions based on your remembering and understanding. Then we have application-based questions. Application-based questions are for 30%. So out of 70, 21 marks, you have application-based questions. And the high order questions are for 30%. That is 21 marks. So you can very clearly see at the bottom, I have highlighted no chapter-wise weightage is given by boards, which means we have to take care and cover all the chapters. So sample question paper released by CBSE, I have given a detailed elaboration. You can take the screenshot also if you wish to. It's clearly, you can see in the sample paper, maximum weightage is given to electrochemistry, 9 marks, and rest of the chapters, the weightage is almost the same. And also one more thing we have to see that here, a 5-marker question, the DF and coordination compounds, the 5 marker is divided between the 2 chapters. And also the 5 marks is divided between alcohols and aldehydes also. So this is your sample question paper. Then chapter-wise weightage and trend analysis of CBSE for last 5 years. I have prepared a trend analysis for all of you. Now, if you see here, pre-COVID and post-COVID. So pre-COVID, we had 16 chapters. I guess that's the first thing which all the educators and students should celebrate, because the chapters which have a lot of rote learning, like the P block elements or chemistry in everyday life or the polymers, solid state, all these chapters, 6 chapters have been deleted. So physics, chemistry, general principles. And then after post-COVID, we have the rationalized syllabus. And for last 2 years, we have the same 10 chapters, 2023, 24, and 25. So the same 10 chapters right now, and all 10 chapters are very good conceptually. You will be able to understand also very nicely, and you will be able to score well. So you can see in 2020, the weightage doesn't fit in because there are 6 more chapters added to it. 21 is your COVID year. 22, we had term 1, term 2. And then 23, the paper pattern is slightly different, but 24 and 25, the paper pattern remains the same. Again, if you see the last 2 years trend, you can see that electrochemistry has maximum weightage of 9 marks, and followed by aldehydes and ketones with 8 marks. Okay, and the rest of the chapters you can see they're almost of equal weight. So however, even the little edge is only 1 or 2 marks, but all other chapters are having equal weightage. So now we move on to grade 10 paper pattern. So grade 10, the science paper is for 80 marks. I guess you have already attended the science session. So we will clearly stick to the chemistry part. which is for 25 marks. And the paper syllabus break, the split up of question paper, it goes this way. The multiple choice questions are 8. Then we have 2 marker, 1 2 marker, 2 3 markers, 1 long answer question, and 1 case-based question, which means we have to attempt 13 questions in total for chemistry for your 10th board examination. So if you see again the question paper design, it's slightly different from our 12th standard. The first low order, that is knowledge and understanding, is given 46%. Application is given 22%. And formulate, analyze, evaluate, create, the high order is given to 32%. Again, the sample paper question is very important. We need to analyze the sample question paper so that we get an understanding as to how our board paper would be. So in the sample paper, if you see, the carbon-ended compound is given as maximum weightage of 9 marks. So I guess we need to study that chapter in depth to the core to score marks, and the rest of the 3 chapters are having same weightage. And one more emphasis here is that we have 20 MCQs in your science paper. Of the 20 MCQs, 8 MCQs are from chemistry part. 7 are your proper multiple choice questions, and 1 is an assertion reason type question. So we need to be very mindful, because children generally, our observation as educators is that children are able to do the constructed based questions, that is your 2 mark, 3 mark, 5 marks very nicely, but they lose marks in 1 marker question. So why it happens is lack of concept clarity. So if you are able to read NCERT thoroughly, you will be able to answer all these 8 questions perfectly. Again, the trend for your 10th standard boards, you can clearly see that again, the same thing. Periodic classification we had pre-COVID, but post-COVID in the rationalized syllabus, the periodic classification has been deleted, and we have now 4 chapters only. And if you see the last 2 years, the trend remains the same. All 4 chapters are having equal weight. However, the sample paper, we have seen that carbon-ended compounds is given as 9 marks. So we have to prepare, anyhow, we have to prepare all these 4 chapters thoroughly. Okay, again, I would ask this question to all the educators. What is the basic preparation every student is expected to do for board examination? Can we have some answers in the chat window? Okay, concept clarity, concept thorough, NCERT thoroughly. Okay, mindset, NCERT. So I am getting lots of answers. And thank you, all the educators. So we have good answers, proper time management, written practice. Yeah, perfect. Everybody is saying do NCERT thoroughly. Okay, so let me take you through what is the basic preparation every student is expected to do for board examination. Okay. So the first part, we have NCERT books. NCERT book is like our Bible, Quran, or Gita, whatever you say. From first word in your NCERT book to the last word of your NCERT book, if you are able to read it thoroughly, that's the best preparation for both 12th standard and 10th standard. And you can see clearly you can download the soft copies also from your NCERT book site. Okay. Then we have sample papers. Again, you can see what I have displayed on the screen. The sample papers are from CBSE site. You can see how many sample papers are there from 2024 to 14-15. So many years sample papers are available in the CBSE site. Not just that, last year, if you have seen the website, after releasing the first sample paper, CBSE just before the examination has released more sample papers for students to solve. So I believe that we don't have to buy any sample papers from the market. CBSE has enough sample papers uploaded in the CBSE site. All the students should download the papers, and you can start from 24, 25 and slowly go back. Okay, how many ever you are able to solve, that much is better for you for your board examination. Okay, so this is our sample papers. Then your question bank. So there's a beautiful CBSE question bank also released for each of the subject. You can clearly see here for both 10th and 12th standard. Okay. So how many of you have downloaded it and started studying? Can I have answers? Do you know that this question bank is available in the CBSE site? Okay. So not yet Advait and some are not knowing. Okay, no problem. Now that you know, children, sir has told that there's lots of students who have joined the session today. So all the students who are in the session, download this question bank. It will help you a lot to solve your CBQ questions. So solve it once for all the subjects that you have, download it and solve, not just for chemistry. Okay. Then we have competency-based booklet released by CBSE. So it's a beautiful booklet. You can see I have displayed some questions here. You can read the question. Let's go through the question 61. Two elements X and Y has electronic configuration. X is 3d5, 4s1, Y is 5d10, 6s2. Which of the following statements is correct about X and Y? See how beautiful this question is. You need to have deep knowledge about unpaired electrons. You need to know about the metallic bonding. Then only you'll be able to answer. Right? Answers are also given here. But how do you solve this MCQ is that go question wise. If A is saying they both have high enthalpy of atomization. What is enthalpy of atomization? So it is about your removing one atom from your metal, right? So enthalpy of atomization is linked to your metallic bond. Metallic bond is linked to your unpaired electrons. So more the number of unpaired electrons, more the metallic bond strength, more the enthalpy of atomization, right? So which means if you see these two configurations, the first one has 6 unpaired electrons and the second one has 0 unpaired electrons. So the first is wrong. Then X is mesh metal, Y is not. So for this, you need to know about the lanthanides, which are used in mesh metal. But these two elements are your D block elements. So that is also ruled out. Then both are transition elements. Then again, we need to understand the deep definition of transition element. What is a transition element? Those elements which are having unpaired electrons in their ground state and in their one of its oxidation state. You can clearly see here Y is, anybody can say which element is Y? It is mercury. Okay. So you can clearly see zinc, cadmium, mercury. We know that they are not transition elements because they have completely filled subshells in their ground state and in one of their oxidation state. So the answer would be X is hard metal and Y is not. So for each MCQ, when you're solving in board exam, you need to take your time and you need to just the way I have guided you. This way you need to think through and then give your right answer. So clearly you can see the competency-based booklet has beautiful questions, and solving this entire booklet, I guess that's enough for us, for all the, even the high achievers to crack all the MCQs effectively. Then we also have previous year's board papers uploaded on the CBSE site. Okay, now you see here the sets, the number of sets. This is just the last year's paper. Here are your 12th standard papers. Here are your 10th standard papers. So for both 10th and 12th, you have ample number of previous year's papers. If you see here, 556-1, under which you have 3 sets, 56-2, under which you have 3 sets, 3, under which you have 3 sets, 4, and then 5. So 1 to 3, these set of questions are almost the same. But otherwise, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of papers. If students are able to sit and solve these 5 sets of papers, I guess that their confidence level will be boosted for appearing for the board examination. And even model answers, like CBSE has uploaded even the model answers for all the subjects. So dear students, download these model answers, because once you go through these model answers, it will give you a clear insight as to how you have to present your answers. If detailed analysis is done by you, one answer sheet you take for each of the subject and just go through them thoroughly, all the 33 questions of your chemistry, if you're going through, you'll get a clear idea as to how you'll present answers in your board exam. Okay, just do that. So I guess CBSE has done a wonderful job. You can clearly see all the resources required for us for the board preparation, be it 10 standard or be it 12 standard, are all there available in the CBSE site. If you just go through and download them and solve them, that's more than enough. So again, a question here: does preparing mind maps for each chapter help students? What do you think? Does it help students? Yes, Varsha ma'am, thank you. Shireen, Monica, everybody says yes. So how does mind maps help us? Mind maps helps us to memorize information at a faster rate, retain more information, understand concepts on a deeper level, and think critically. It's a powerful tool that enables teachers and students to get most out of their learning experience. So especially for chemistry subject, which is very volatile. Okay, so if it's very volatile, what does that mean? If you're just reading the concepts are not absorbed deep in your mind or in your memory. They are superficially absorbed. So what happens if you're just reading? After a few days, you forget the things. It is not deeply registered. But if once you start creating mind maps, that helps you very well in your board examination. So these are your distinguishing tests. In your 12 standard boards, at least 2 mark questions, you have distinguishing tests. So all these, there are 8 distinguishing tests. And if you're able to practice this 8 distinguishing tests, I guess 2 to 3 marks are in your pocket. Okay. So first is iodoform test for methyl ketones. Then we have ferric chloride test for phenols. Then we have for aldehydes, Fehling solution for then aldehydes, Tollin solution test, carboxylic acid, we have sodium bicarbonate test. Then for amines, we have carbylamine test. Then we have silver nitrate test for alkyl halides, and Hinsberg test for your primary, secondary, and tertiary amines. Okay, so every student should learn these, practice thoroughly these 8 equations, so that your 2 marks of your distinguishing test is done. Then again, in organic chemistry part, students face difficulty in doing the conversion type questions. If students are able to create such mind maps, or if they are able to create chart papers and display in their rooms and go through this every day, I believe even the 3 marker of your conversion question also you will be able to achieve. So see how beautifully it is done. If you have to replace a Br from a alkyl halide to OH, what is the reagent? You can use aqueous NaOH or aqueous KOH. So, or if you have to replace a Br with CN, what you have to use? You have to use KCN. You have to treat it with KCN. So like this, what is the reactant? What is your product that you are expected? And what is the reagent? So if these charts are displayed in your room and you are practicing repeatedly, I believe you will be able to do the conversion type questions. So these are few aromatic conversions. All of you should practice the conversions thoroughly. So again, formula writing is important, whichever type of learner you are, weak learner or average learner or high achiever. If you are able to write equations at one place, for 3 chapters, we have physical chemistry, solutions, then we have electrochemistry, then our chemical kinetics. If you are able to write all the formulas at one place and keep repeatedly practicing, you will be able to do the numericals thoroughly. Okay, and one more question, very important, always repeated in boards, is the graph-based questions from chemical kinetics. So 3 graphs we have. Study these graphs thoroughly. So if on your y-axis R is there, remember it's a 0 order. And if you have log R or ln R, it's first order. Okay, so that way you can remember and identify whether it's a 0 order graph or first order graph. So study all the 3 graphs. So now we move on to how we can guide as educators our weak students. So that's a big challenge. Every educator's dream is to get 100% result. So we keep struggling with the weak students, how to guide them. So with all the experience that I have put up some suggestions. So these are our important topics. I believe is repeatedly asked in boards. If we can make our students do written practice chapter wise of all these topics, definitely it will help. So in solutions, your both the laws, Henry's law, Rawls law, and colligative property, even simple numericals, if we are able to help them, it would be good. Then in electrochemistry, the Faraday's laws, then your lead storage battery board always has this Nernst equation, Kohlrausch law, how the molar conductivity changes with concentration. So if these questions, we are able to make them right. And from chemical kinetics also simple, what is the unit of 0 order, first order, then graphs if they are able to learn, and first order rate equations, if and some definitions. Okay, definitions we should ensure to make them learn, because in a 5-marker question you have a numerical and you have 2 definitions asked. So at least our weak learners should be able to score in these definitions. Then we have inorganic chemistry, D and coordination compounds. So all the reason-based questions that come from D and F block elements. So at least simple reason-based questions, we can make them written practice, and also the properties of KMNO4 and dichromate. Then if you have coordination compounds, then valence bond theory based question is always there. On even crystal field theory, whether if delta naught is less than P or greater than P, right? D5 configuration, these questions are there. Or IUPAC name, structures, isomerism. For organic chemistry, what I make my children study is, I make them study as one whole unit, not as 4 sub-chapters. Okay, and then we study question-wise, because you always have 2 named reactions, 2 to 3 named reactions. Then we have 2 distinguishing tests. Then we have a 3-marker question on mechanism, and 1 IUPAC name is always asked. Then we have reason-based questions where acidic nature of carboxylic acid, or basic nature of amines, or boiling point, or SN1, SN2. Based on these topics, there's always a question. Then diazonium salts in your questions where A gives B gives C. So many of the questions are from diazonium salts and the reaction of either with HI. So as we have seen the syllabus, the paper pattern also, that organic chemistry, if you take all the 4 chapters as a whole sum, the weightage is high. Weightage is almost 33. So out of 70. So I guess this organic is very scoring. At least these basic things, if we are able to guide our weak learners to practice, do a lot of written practice, I guess everybody will be able to score 23 out of 70. Then even in biomolecules, lots of differentiating questions are asked. So if you are able to guide them to do written practice of all these reducing, non-reducing, fibrous, globular, DNA, RNA. So all these differences, I guess it will be helpful to you. So after knowing that, we understood what all topics are important. So focus on those topics for these academically weak student. Written practice of definitions and formulae, as I have told you, the mind maps, if they're able to write all the formulae at one place with the term, if they are able to write. I think simple numericals, at least even if they are not able to get the final answer, they should be able to substitute, write the relevant formula. Then practice organic chemistry question-wise, I guided you already. Take chapter-wise tests. So how do we guide weak students is, don't make them attend entire syllabus first. So right now I have guided you how to do. So maybe chapter wise you do first. Okay. Then physical chemistry, 3 chapters are done together, take a test. Then inorganic, 2 chapters are done together, take a test. Then go with organic, all the question wise they are studying, take a test. Repeatedly do that, and then make them attend the 70 marks paper so that it's not overwhelming and they are able to do well and score 33 to 40% easily. And after that, again, we should make them solve last 2 years board papers with timer so that they are able to solve in time all the entire paper. Also the board sample papers also with timer. Then how do we guide our advanced learners? So for advanced learners, the strategy, the first point which I have mentioned on the slide is very important. Thorough reading of NCERT. As I said, the first word to last word of NCERT book, they have to read it thoroughly. Then solve all your solved, unsolved, in-text questions, exercise questions, exemplar questions. So first level of study is NCERT. That should be done in depth, very deeply. Then they should focus on organic chemistry because organic chemistry conversions type and word problems students face difficulty. So a lot of practice worksheets to be provided to students for especially this part. Then high order numerical. So numerical part is again especially for if a child is aspiring to get a perfect 100. So lot of numerical practice has to happen so that silly mistakes are not done in the paper presentation on D-Day. Okay, then mind maps. Mind maps is for every learner. It's best part for you for chemistry especially because it's very volatile subject. Also, most of the students, even the advanced learners also, my observation is they really score well in 5 markers and all the descriptive questions. They lose the marks only in MCQs and assertion reason types and the case-based questions, 1 mark or 2 marks. So if we can give more practice of these, and as I said, more practice of these doesn't require any other resources. Every resource is there in the CBSE portal. So download it and make sure your advanced learners are doing all of these and solve chapter-wise previous board questions. And 3 hours practice timed sessions is very important for every learner. So you need to have that mock practice so that on D-Day, you don't have that panic attack or, you are blacking out. Nothing such will happen if you are repeatedly practicing. With practice, everything goes to perfection. And the most important part is that you review whatever practice tests you are having, identify the areas of improvement, and then revise those concepts. Moving on to the revision plan. So first thing is students should have their self-study timetable. Then 3 to 4 hours where you are, introspect yourself. Every student should introspect yourself where you are right now. Based on that, you decide how many hours you need to spend for the rest of the days that we have from today to our D-Day. So 3 to 4 hours of written practice every day with short breaks. So every day you need to spend time on chemistry. And this is the red one is for every kid. You be away from all the electronic devices while studying. No distraction at all. Distraction is something which you have to remove during the last 3 months before your board examination. Okay, so no distraction. Keep your devices with your parents or in some other rooms. Around your study table, there should not be an electronic device. Okay, that should be your prime goal so that you are able to focus on task that is in front of you. Then try to solve 1 sample paper per week with timer. This revision plan is from today till your D-Day, okay? So 1 sample paper per week, then thorough analysis of your solved sample paper. If you're able to do it yourself or go and sit with your subject teacher, take her inputs, identify the areas of improvement and recap those concepts yourself or with your subject teacher, okay? So this is our revision plan. So we go into the most important part of the session. So are there any common mistakes done by students in chemistry board examination? So if anybody wants to share anything before I proceed in your observation, if you see anything, if anybody wants to answer. Yes. Hariharan, yes. Assertion, reasoning, benzene ring, calculation in numerical. Forget the terminologies, balancing equations, units. Thank you so much for all your answers. So let us proceed. So this part, everybody should pay attention because with lot of experience, whatever I have put up some questions and what students should avoid in their board exam and how perfectly the answer should be is what we are going to discuss. First, we will discuss for 12th standard, followed by 10th standard. So organic mechanisms. In the mechanism question, can anybody answer? If you have mechanism type of questions. So what is the basic mistakes that students do in mechanisms? Okay. Arrows. So whoever has written arrows, good shepherd, sir. Okay, very good. So I have got lots of answers. Thank you, educators, for your answers. So for mechanism question, I'll put up an answer for you, a mechanism here. So this is for 3 marks in boards, 3 marks or 2 marks. You always have a mechanism every year. So we have few number of mechanisms, 5-6 mechanism out of 4 chapters that we have in organic chemistry. So all students should do thorough practice. First thing in mechanism, what is expected is that you write step by step all the equations. Okay, first thing is you're going to write step by step. You're not going to combine all the steps and after this, you're not going to put an arrow here followed by this, again arrow here. No, do not do in that one step. Do it step by step because in board marking scheme, the marks are, if it's a 3-mark question, for each of the step, you will have 1 mark each. Okay, so 3 marks, 1, 1, 1. And if you are not forgetting to, you have written everything perfectly, but this arrow mark is missed here. Okay, all the 3 steps you can see from the lone pair to the positive center, you always have an arrow, right? From the electron rich center to an electron deficient center, you have to put the curved arrow. So if you miss these 3 curved arrows, out of 3, you're going to get 1.5 mark. Okay, can you see? 3, you feel that you have written board exam very well, and once you get the marks, you see that you are not getting to your expectation. Why does this happen? Because of the smallest nuances. So you have to write curved arrows when you do the mechanism. Okay, next, distinguishing test. Can anybody share me what is expected in distinguishing test? Colors, very good, Bharati. Colors, equations. Yes, perfect. So in distinguishing test, students generally, suppose a question is asked as distinguish between an aldehyde and a ketone, and child writes, yes, they can be distinguished by Tollens test or they can be distinguished by iodoform test. The test is correct, but they get 0 if they are not writing equations. So say, for example, between ethylamine and diethylamine, you have 2 tests. Either of the test you write. For ethylamine, if we are using carbylamine test, we will clearly write that isocyanide is formed. And this observation is important. There is a foul smell. Or if you are using Hinsberg reagent, then we will write the equation and mention this observation. Soluble in aqueous KOH, and this product is insoluble in aqueous KOH. So in distinguishing test, we need to write proper equation and your observation, whether whatever it is. If it is an iodoform test, you have to write that it's an yellow PPT formed. So observation should always be there. So 2 marks. thoroughly, you will get perfect numbers if you are able to present it this way. Then we move on to the next part, numericals. So I guess many students struggle with numericals. Many students have this phobia for numericals also. So what do we do for scoring better, and how do we remove that phobia from for solving numericals is, first, children, when you have a numerical asked, at least if you are able to write formula, correct formula, and substitute properly, and write the unit also. But you did not just get the final answer. Based on the marking scheme, either you get 2 marks or you get 2.5 marks. That means you are not getting a 0 there. So come out of that, even if you don't get the final answer correct, then also you will get 2.5 marks out of 3. So Nernst equation is very, very, very important question in boards. So make sure that educators, this practice for Nernst equation is done thoroughly. And the mistake that most of the students does is that they do everything correctly, but they forget to write this power, silver raised to 2. So you need to have a balanced equation. And then how many silver ions are there? 2 ions are there. So Ag plus that 2 value goes as power. Okay, so that part is what most of the students miss out, and every student should remember not to miss that out. And then the correct electrons. And most important part of numerical is that don't miss to write the formula. Appropriate formula, the correct formula gets 1 mark. Then the substitution gets 1 mark, and the final answer with unit gets 1 mark. So even if it's not 0.25, you're getting something nearest to that, you will still get marks. Okay, so this is most important question for boards. Then moving on to the next question, numerical on colligative properties. Again, when we solve numericals on colligative properties, many children forget one thing. Whenever I was an examiner, we used to feel very bad for all those students because entire question is correct. However, students forget. So if you see this question, this is based on your colligative property. There's a formula, there's a calculation, and there's a final answer. Students write everything correctly except using of I. The I is equal to 3. If it is missed out, if you're not remembering it, then your answer would change, right? So if you're forgetting Van 't Hoff factor, you are going to lose marks. Okay, so read the first, when a numerical is asked, take few minutes time, comprehend the question properly. Okay, decide whether I factor has to be used or not. Do not forget that, and then do the calculation. Okay, so if everything is done by the child and only I is missed out, although everything is correct, but still out of 3 you will get half mark, which is grace mark. Okay, so be mindful on this question. Then balancing of inorganic chemistry equations, balanced equations are expected. In organic chemistry, balanced equation is not expected, but inorganic chemistry, balanced equations are expected. So take care of that. And for these questions, potassium dichromate or permanganate oxidizing properties, students should write balanced equation. So it's very good if they are able to write oxidation half reaction, reduction half reaction, and then balance it on the D-Day on their exam, so that there is no blunder in this question. So coordination compounds also, mistakes are there. So if you have to answer IUPAC name to the complex compound given on the screen, first, you need to calculate the oxidation number. You need to know the names of the ligands and then give the IUPAC name. So here, if the answer here, this is the answer and its oxidation state is 2. And if you write here 1, 3 or whatever other numbers, again, you get a 0 here. Okay, so be very careful in calculating oxidation state of the central metal ion first. Then make sure that value is put here in Roman numerals. Also, in your isomer questions, whether it's cis trans isomers or optical isomers, if you're drawing everything and if it's an ion asked and you forget to put the charge of the ion, also marks are deducted. So if it's a charged complex, ensure that the charge is mentioned when you draw the structure of geometrical structures or optical structures of these complex ions. Okay. Then many students do mistakes in increasing order questions also. So when it is in increasing order, you should ensure that you are using the symbol also. If you're forgetting to write the symbol and just put a comma, marks may be deducted. Okay, if the evaluator is too strict. So if it's increasing order, ensure you're putting less than symbol between these compounds. Assertion reason type questions. Okay, so this is where most of the students are missing or doing mistakes. So children, read the assertion separately, reason separately first. So you are given four options for assertion reason type. So the first is whether both are true and R is correct explanation of A. Then both are true and R is not correct explanation. Then we have one true, one false. Okay. So when you're doing, these are really conceptual questions, assertion reason type. If your concepts are strong, you'll be able to answer. So glucose does not form hydrogen sulfide addition compound with sodium bisulfite. Does it form? Is it true? Am I getting answers? I guess if students are there, I want any student to answer this question. Okay. Muad, it says it's false. Okay. Glucose does not form hydrogen sulfide product with sodium bisulfite is true. And glucose exists as six-membered cyclic structure called pyranose ring structure is also true. However, reason is not correct explanation of A. Why? Because the reason for that question should have been due to the absence of free aldehyde group, it does not react with NaHSO3. So this is what we study after studying the properties of glucose, how it reacts with each of these. Then we study that it does not react, few reactions, why, and then we go with cyclic structure, right? So in that part of your NCERT, you have clear explanation about this. Go back to that, okay? I think still concepts have to be clear because some of you have answered it wrong. Then moving on, again, multiple choice questions also. I have discussed one question already. Whenever you have multiple choice question, read the statement first. Try to answer it, then go by option, and then rule out the ones which are not applicable to it. And then you will just definitely come to one or two conclusions and then rule out the best, take out the best option. So ammonolysis of ethyl chloride followed by reaction of the amine so formed with 1 mole of methyl chloride gives an amine that, so you have four options. So reacts with Hinsberg reagent, on reacts with nitrous acid producing nitrogen gas, reacts with benzyl sulfonyl product, chloride to form product that is insoluble in alkali, does not react with Hinsberg reagent. What is the correct answer? Bindu, ma'am. Thank you. Sia, Monica. Yeah, correct answer is C. It reacts with benzyl sulfonyl chloride to form product that is insoluble in alkali. So very clearly, assertion reason type and multiple choice questions are concept based. And if your concepts are clear, you will be able to answer these questions. Concepts will be clear only if you read your NCERT thoroughly. Now we move on to the grade 10 mistakes, or how do we guide them? So see this question. Read the question carefully. A salt X is formed and gas is evolved when ethanoic acid reacts with sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so that's the statement. Now see how many subparts are asked in this question. So name the salt X. So that's your one part. You have to name the salt and the gas evolved. Then you have to describe an activity, written part. Then you have to draw a diagram of the apparatus to prove that the gas evolved is the one you have named. Also, you have to write chemical equation of the reaction involved. And you have to give one use of X. So children, be mindful when you get such paragraph questions, okay? So there are so many subparts asked and the students tend to miss out on one or two, which they will not even realize, okay? And then you get less marks. So just be mindful when you get the first 15 minutes reading time, when you are reading its time, that time itself, make sure that you noted that there are 6 subparts in this question, and when you are last 15 minutes, when you are cross-checking, again be mindful and go back to cross that. Yeah, so I guess we got the right answers. Monica, sodium ethanoate, gas is CO2, correct? So we have to answer. So step by step, X is sodium is ethanoate, then Y is carbon dioxide gas. Then how do we check? We pass this gas through lime water, which turns milky white. So that's the description. Then you need to draw the experimental part of it. And then you need to write a balanced chemical equation. Again, that will have full marks. You will get only if you write balanced chemical equation. Okay, and then uses of sodium ethanoate. So 6 subparts are here. So just be careful with such questions. And again, for questions based on writing balanced chemical equations, would take you to calculate that, and then you start attempting. Maybe you can answer section E first, and then you can go back to section B, whichever you're confident. But if you start a particular section, go in that particular section in a sequential way. This is your answer sheet uploaded in the board website, as I have told you. So some students also, what they do, they draw a line here in the center. Okay, and then they make a margin here, and 2 questions are written in the first half as the paper is horizontal landscape, and some questions are written here. Okay, so do not do that. Never do that, because your questions always have to be in the margin. Question numbers have to be only in the margin. Okay, always between the questions also leave space. Underline the question numbers. Do not make any mistake in writing the appropriate question number. Then for multiple choice questions, I want everybody to pay very attention here. For multiple choice questions, if it's a numerical, solve the numerical. And if it's A, B, C, D, some students leave it as A, here, B, C, nothing. Answer is not written. That should never happen. You should write answers in the multiple choice questions. Okay. So, and if it's a explanation, you can clearly see here, the child has given a reason also. This is your answer because tertiary carbocation is highly stable and it favors SN1. Or the numerical is solved, yes, and presented so neatly, right? So this is the way we have to give the multiple choice question. So if you're writing question 1 here, question 2 here, you're giving no space, which means you're not giving the examiner to put marks in the margin. Okay, so then the posting, when they post it in the first page, some marks may be missed out. So we should not give any such chances to happen, right? Then stick to word limits. So be concise, be to the point. Okay, so that's always good. If it is a chemistry diagram based question, always draw the diagram with pencil. Okay, and especially the numerical parts here, everybody pay attention. If you are stuck in a numerical and you lose track of time, then eventually you may miss out solving 2-3 questions, which may be of 10 marks. Okay, So this answer will have final answer I have told, as I have guided you, will have only 1 mark, but you are not able to attempt 10 marks towards the end because of your lack of time management. So be very mindful. If you're not getting calculation, just stop there. Leave space, enough space for solving the question later on. Complete your paper and then get back to this question to solve it. Then best handwriting, you have to impress your examiner. Okay, examiner is the one who gives you all the marks. Make sure you are impressing the examiner. Give your best handwriting possible, best presentation. So see here, the variable oxidation state is your key answer here. The child has underlined here in pencil. Here incomplete D subshell, DD transition. So these are your keywords and both are underlined here. So that is what we have to do. If it's a descriptive answer and you're writing 2-3 sentences there, just take a pencil and underline that keyword. And this when we will do in the last 15 minutes. You should be able to complete the paper in 2 hours, 45 minutes. In the last 15 minutes is what you go back and you go through all your answers. And while you go through all your answer, have a pencil with you, keep underlining the keywords. Okay, so that's about the attempting the question papers. So we come to the place where we are discussing about the path to success. So this is again step by step. If students are able to practice self-discipline, which is the cornerstone of success. So that's where they will achieve their goals. So let's quickly go through these 10 step pathway, which I have mentioned here. The first is your SMART goal. Suppose imagine you're traveling without a map. What would happen? You would get lost, right? So that's where we need SMART goals. I believe every educator and every student right now knows what are SMART goals. They are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals. So if you are able to set these SMART goals, that means you are ensuring your map is accurate, your route is clear, and your purpose is defined. Whether it's finishing a chapter by the end of the day or scoring a 70% in your pre-board 1, 85% in your pre-board 2, 90% in your pre-board 3, and 99% in your boards. That's it. It has to be very clear. Okay, goal has to be very clear so that if your goal is clear, you are able to do your further tasks. Okay, now visualizing success. So I believe that if you are able to visualize what your goals are, I guess it's the secret weapon that will help you face every obstacle. Visualize that on the D-day of your exam, all your 5 exams went very well. Visualize that you have received your mark sheet and you're really happy and you have got the mark sheet that you are wishing. Visualize that you're on the school stage celebrating your success, celebrating your achievement, school topper or 100 on 100 in a particular exam which you are the best at. So ensure that you're visualizing your success. Then creating a motivating ecosystem. So again, ecosystem is very important. If the people around you, if they are good, they are boosting your energy, they are inspiring you, you will be motivated. Or your room where you sit, the room is aesthetically arranged beautifully, organized. You have all the mind maps on your charts which are motivating you to study. So creating a motivating ecosystem. Okay. Then the 4th step, self-study timetable. So craft a personalized timetable, balancing subjects, balancing breaks, and review your timetable. Don't make it very rigid. It has to be in such a way that you are able to check your progress, as and when you are proceeding. Okay. Then the power of routine. I believe this is what makes some people successful and some people not. Okay, successful people are those who study when they want to study and study when they do not want to study also. So set a routine so that helps you, that fuels your progress, I can say this way. Okay, so what time you will get up, what time you will study, which subject, what you are going to do. Set a routine. Okay, every day repeat the routine in a similar way. Then progress you're tracking, keep a track on how you're studying, how you're accomplishing your goals. So if there is any need to recreate your self-study timetable, do that. Then reward system, who doesn't like rewards? So always reward yourself, after you achieve small goals. So maybe you have completed a tough chapter and you have scored full marks on that particular day. Just reward yourself with a chocolate or a coffee, or share it with your parents and take their appreciations. That would become your reward. Physical health, again, if you're healthy, then only you can, all the planning that goes on will happen only if you're healthy. So make sure you're having healthy diet and sleeping in adequate amount. Then step 9 about your mindfulness and reflection. So these are like taking moments to pause and reflect on the journey. Okay, meditation, deep breathing, or simple thinking about how you have how you can calm your mind. So our school, I will share with you, we have a Anapana. So that is what we follow as religiously. We follow this every day, 10 minutes. Student observe their natural breathing. Okay, so 10 minutes when they observe this natural breathing, it increases your focus and decreases your stress. So follow the mindfulness, practice it religiously. So no journey is without its storms, setbacks, whether it's tough chapter, an unexpected dip in performance, or feeling burned out. But it's not the setbacks that define you, it is how you navigate them. Adapting to setbacks means learning from mistakes, adjusting your plan. It's about turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. So if all the students and educators are able to implement this part diligently, I believe success is inevitable. So I have put up some frequently asked questions also. You can clearly see some of the questions are students always have certain doubts. So the answers given by CBSE themselves are put up here. You can just go through them. How should I improve my presentation? Are any marks good for good presentation? So no separate marks are given, but your answers can be neat, well organized with important points underlined. So is whitener allowed in board exams, and can we use a gel pen? Whitener is not used. Okay, you have to use blue only. Black is also not used, not allowed. So blue, royal blue ink, or gel pens can be used. Do examiner deduct marks for exceeding the word limit and spelling mistakes, especially in language papers? So no marks are deducted for exceeding the word limit. So marks for spelling mistakes, or that language is not ours. So will questions be asked from the board sample paper? So sample paper is just our blueprint kind of thing, where we understand what type of questions can be asked, what is the design, what is the pattern. That's it. So we have to prepare all the chapters equally. Is it compulsory to answer to write the answers in same sequence as in the question paper? No, as I have already guided, you don't have to answer in the same sequence as in the question paper. You can answer section wise. My writing speed is very slow, and because of that, I'm not able to complete my paper. Can something be done? So you have to do enough practice is what even CBSE says, and you have to improve your writing speed. If a choice is given to attempt any one of the questions in board exam, can we attempt both? If yes, which answer would be considered? I guess we should not be doing that. As per instructions given by board, it is always the first attempted question that is taken into consideration. So be mindful of that. Is it mandatory to pass in theory and practical exams separately? Yeah, it is mandatory to pass in theory exams both separately. I'm very scared of board exams, and despite studying the whole year, I'm not confident. I also make silly mistakes. What can I do to overcome this? So again, I guided you for that also. Stay relaxed, don't worry. So always write answers while revising also. Written practice is what everybody emphasizes for chemistry. The more you write, all your concepts are registered subconsciously, okay? Then your hand starts flowing in your exam. But if you're doing it orally, then you have to think for every answer to it. And then definitely you will not get enough time to complete your paper. And you will be stressed out also, right? So avoid that. So I guess that's it from me. So I would like to conclude saying that, dear students, for all the students in this session, believe in yourself, stay focused, and strive for the best, and taste the flavor of success. And dear educators, please motivate your students to move ahead just like Edmund Hillary, with positive self-talk, positive mindset, to strategize effectively, take support if required, and move ahead in step by step to achieve success. Thank you. So I guess that's all from me. If there are any questions, I can answer them now.
Monica ma'am, you can speak now. Your co-host now. We can take up questions, Monica ma'am. Madam, you have to unmute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. Now I can unmute myself. Thank you. Thank you, Sajanya ma'am. Though you have already taken many questions, but a few questions even I have noted down. So I request you to please answer those. First one, I would say I really found it very innocent. So the question is from a student, I believe. Ma'am, if I start preparing from now, can I get good marks?
You're on mute, Saujanya ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Salam sir. So absolutely, you can, even if you start today, whatever days we are left with, every day, 3-4 hours you are spending for this particular subject, chemistry, you will definitely be able to do well. So follow all the guidelines that I have given, all the CBSE material that you have, take mock tests at regular intervals, and you will do well.
Right, ma'am. And the another question, I believe this again from a learner only. My teacher said if you don't know how to solve, at least write formulas so that you secure score at least 1.5 or 1 mark.
Okay, so for chemistry, it's always good that you supplement your answers with equations. If you are able to write your equations, sometimes you get full marks also. So always do that.
Right, ma'am. And another question from an educator, I believe. Let me know about the content-based experiments in class 12. Organic functional group analysis is enough, right? And carbohydrates, proteins test is necessary or optional?
So again, it all depends on your external examiner and the internal examiners. So I believe you should follow whatever your internal examiner, your subject teacher guides you.
Right, ma'am. And the another one is, ma'am, let me know about the content-based experiments practical examination. I believe that you have covered it already. And the another one is very, I believe this for Salam sir only. Do we have can we have a similar these sessions for physics and mathematics as well? So basically, it's a request to arrange such similar sessions for mathematics and physics. I believe sir will be arranging these very soon, and I believe for all the subjects rather. So that's it from the learners and the educator. In case I have missed out on anything, please let me know. Please, you can repeat it in the chat box. We are waiting for another 1 minute, then we go ahead. And of course, dear participants, the link for the certificate and feedback has already been posted in the chat box. Please go ahead with that also simultaneously.
Madam, we can take questions. Vaishnavi has raised hands.
Yeah, Vaishnavi, ma'am, you can unmute yourself. Vaishnavi.
Student or teacher?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah,
Student.
Vaishnavi.
Student.
First, I'd like to thank you for such a wonderful session. It was very clear and I got clarity on how to present my paper. My question is more of a request. In the beginning of the session, she showed a organic conversion sheet with the initial product, final product, and reagent. Is it possible to forward that PDF? I feel it would be useful for all students.
We will send through mail with Saujanya ma'am's permission.
Definitely, sir. I am very much happy if I'm able to help all our
Yeah,
students right
thank you.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Sia, Sia, are you there? Anyone else?
Any teacher, any question? This is the best opportunity to clear. Sonia is there.
Sonia, yeah, please go ahead, Sonia.
Hi, Sonia. Please ask your question.
Unmute yourself, Sonia. Maybe there's a technical issue. Anyone else from the audience? Ma'am, you were so thorough while explaining everything. I believe they received answers of each and everything.
Thank you, Monica.
So we go ahead with, please, I believe there's some technical error. Thank you. So I believe we go ahead, Salam sir, with your permission, should we go ahead with the conclusion?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Sonia ma'am, now ma'am is online. Sonia ma'am, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me properly?
Ji, we can hear you. Please go ahead with that.
Okay. Ma'am, my doubt is related to that, whether logarithm table is given to the students or not.
Okay. Sonia, previously we used to have logarithm tables, but now we don't have logarithm tables. If log values are to be used, the log values are given in the question itself. So log 4, log 5,
Yes.
whatever log values are there, it's given in your question itself. So you don't have to use log tables.
So the problems related to anti-log will not be there, right?
Problems related to anti-log may also be there.
Will be there.
So the anti-log value will also be given if it is asked.
Given.
Yes.
But I haven't seen any such question related to that. That
So
anti-log is
even if
given.
it's anti-log is given, the decimal after decimal 0.125, it's the value. Say suppose 10.125 is your value. So you know that 10 goes as 10 power 10 and that 0.125 value will be given in your boards. If it is given, it will be given. So don't worry at all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Jayashree is also in the queue. Jayashree ma'am.
Sindhu is
Sindhu ma'am, in case.
Yes. Sindhu, please ask your question.
Jayashree, Sindhu, she could connect. Sindhu ma'am, please go ahead.
Yes, hello ma'am.
Okay.
My students are facing little bit problem about this attending the application-based questions for class 10th.
Okay.
So can you guide me, ma'am, that is which resources are available for me to resolve that problem?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. So we have, as I have shown you, whatever I have shown you is for both 10th and 12th. Okay. So I guess take the previous year's board papers, even for 10th, so many sets are there. So all the previous year's board papers you can take as a educator, you can just take out all those questions and make a worksheet for your children. Then even the previous year sample papers, you take out those questions, prepare worksheet, ask them to solve, and then you can have a guidance session with them. I guess with this, absolutely, they'll go to perfection.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you. And one more thing, can you just provide us that in this chat itself, any such resources are available as a group or something? Then it's as a international teacher, so I couldn't get more resources from our India. So we are just downloading whatever getting from net. We are downloading and giving to the students. So it's a very the students also and parents also thinking about that problem, how to solve this one.
I guess Salam sir has been sharing so many resources on the group already every week.
Yeah, we have shared a lot of resources, including mind maps.
Of course,
So-
sir, I will be joining soon because today only I got this wonderful seminar presentation theme and everything. So I could get not today only. So I will be joining soon to your group.
My number is given, WhatsApp number is given. You can send a message. I'll send you the link.
Of course.
It is
Thank you.
there in the
Thank you.
chat box.
Okay, thank you.
Before we take the another question, I request all the participants to please fill in the feedback form and the certificate form. So, shall we take the another question, also, ma'am, with your
Yes,
permission?
yes. Sai
The next participant, yes, Sai.
Yeah, Sai Pridarshan, please go on.
Oh, ma'am, how can we answer the odds question in our exams, ma'am? It's facing the difficulties for me.
Which class are you from? 10th or 12th? Sai, you're from
Please,
10th or
please,
12th?
please unmute yourself, Sai, ma'am.
Okay, so I guess I will answer your question, be it 10th or 12th. Again, high order questions need deep concepts, deep learning of concepts. So read your NCERT to the core, then definitely you'll get that knowledge to answer or comprehend any high order question and answer it. And do a lot of practice of your sample papers and previous years board papers. Is your answer question answered, Sai Priyadarshan?
I can see many hand raised virtually, and I believe there are many questions.
Yeah. We can. I think Saujanya ma'am, we have time.
I guess we still have time, sir. I can help
Right.
out. Yes, no problem.
Okay.
Bharti ma'am, if you can, if I'm right in pronouncing your name, could you please go ahead with your question?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
How about the questions from allotropes of carbon?
Pardon? Allotropes.
Questions from allotropes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So allotrope structure wise, you have to make them be ready. The structures of both diamond and graphite, and then based on structural difference, or only the questions are asked mostly from that part of the content.
Okay, ma'am. One more question. From biomolecules, do they need to concentrate on the diagrams?
Yeah, absolutely. Generally, the diagrams that are asked is glucose most of the years. The glucose pyranose ring structure of glucose is asked. But even for sucrose, lactose, maltose, and the other polysaccharides, they should learn the linkages, the glycosidic linkages. Is it between C1 and C4 of alpha glucose? Or so those kind of linkages they have to study. But glucose structure they have to practice.
Okay, ma'am. What about this primary, secondary structures of proteins, ma'am?
Proteins, it's a theoretical questions mostly asked about alpha helix and beta pleated differences are asked. Then your fibrous protein, globular protein differences are asked. Then what is denaturation of protein, and that question is asked. So structures are never asked from that part. It's always differences are asked and denaturation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else for the question?
Inna Muthu. Inna Muthu.
Ida Muthu, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Inna Mudhu. Yeah, from Chennai. Ma'am, I have one doubt in chemical kinetics. Usually, we have exponent value in chemical kinetics, no, ma'am? So while solving the problem, how do we find that exponent value, ma'am?
Like, can you be more specific, ma'am? Which kind of
Like suppose e power, some values are given. How do
So
we
we have
solve
to
it?
take logarithm formula. If for Arrhenius equation, if you have the questions, you have to take log k is equal to log a minus EA. Upon that formula, we have to take and solve the
UPI transaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Usually, students finding difficulty in
That's what,
solving
ma'am.
problems,
Help them
especially
solve in
physical chemistry.
Yeah.
First 3
Physical
chapters.
chemistry is not very difficult. It's just a phobia. So we have to help students practice the formula a lot so that they are very familiar with each formula. Then when they start reading the question, they will definitely able to put the right formula and substitute. As I guided, final answer is half mark or 1 mark, right?
Yes.
2 marks, every child should be able to score. Yes.
Okay, one more doubt, ma'am. Suppose if our final answer is like 24.10, but students has written 24.35, like that, some decimal numbers or changed means, do we get full marks for that, ma'am? Or we have to write the exact precise answer for
Yes,
numericals?
ma'am, four significant figures answers are always there, but definitely point 1, point 2 will be considered in both, but not much deviation. Little deviation is okay.
4, 6.
Okay, ma'am.
9.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Welcome, ma'am.
So I believe that's it for the questions. Priyadarshini ma'am, you really want to ask any other question or it's just by mistake? Priyadarshini ma'am, I believe we have already taken your question. So it's anyone else?
We can wind up now.
Right, sir. So as we conclude,
Saujanya ma'am is feeling hungry also.
I know.
No, sir,
But believe me, ma'am, belong to I'm a language person, of course, not a science person. But yes, you have really enlightened me even, and I'm sure that our all participants they have learned it thoroughly. So it was really a thought-provoking session, and of course, you have navigated us seamlessly, whatever we require to prepare for the board examination, and you have really broken down the complex concepts into very simple strategies. So that's really wonderful. And we all are very empowered. And I'm sure that our learners will excel in their chemistry exams, whether it's grade 10 or 12. So they will definitely do their best. And under your guidance and whatever you have guided, the educators also will guide them very well. So it was really a wonderful student-centric approach. And again, I'll repeat, you have really equipped all of them. So I'm confident now that they are going to do wonderful. And heartfelt thanks to, of course, our own Dr. Abdul Salam sir, and for arranging all these sessions, and of course, the unwavering support and vision, which has really made this session possible. And of course, I extend my sincere thanks to all the participants. They were very much enthusiastic, and of course, the way they participate in the questions, I believe all your questions have been sorted out and all the queries been addressed. And best of luck for all the learners, and I'm sure they are going to excel. So thank you so much. We go ahead with the evening goodbye, sir.
Yeah, Miss Priya wants to ask.
Ma'am.
I think
Right.
she came 2-3 times.
Yeah, Priya
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I'm from class 10, Sai Priyadarshini. I am a student, ma'am.
What is that?
Student.
Uh,
Okay, Priyadarshini.
Priya is a student, right?
Okay.
What are the possible questions in carbon and compounds, ma'am?
For 10 standard, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I guess from carbon and compounds, mostly focus on ethanol and ethanoic acid chemical reactions. Okay, study that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone. And definitely we look forward to seeing you all at the different future sessions. And good evening.
One Palak,
Good night.
Palak has raised his
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Palak ma'am. Yes, Palak ma'am.
Yes, Palak.
Ma'am, actually, I had a doubt regarding the Viva. Like, what resources should we follow for the Viva question specifically?
So you're a student, Palak?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so as I have told you, there are 3 experiments. Volumetric, generally the questions asked are about whether you take high sulfuric acid, why can't you take HCl or nitric acid, study that part. Why can't we take alkaline medium? What is the change in oxidation state of manganese when you take an acidic medium, alkaline medium? So these are your important questions. Then your organic chemistry, which is content-based functional group analysis. You have questions based on your how do you distinguish between aldehydes, ketones? How do you distinguish between 3-degree amines and alcohols, phenols? How do you distinguish or write the chemical equation of any of the tests? So that is from your content-based experiment. And for your salt analysis, you have to clearly study deeply if you take acidic radical, formulas for your brown ring, formulas, then for your basic radicals, for your Nessler's reagent, or the PPTs that you get in your group separation table. So all those things you have to study. You have to study chemical equations and colors, whatever observations are there, those also can be asked. But all these are available in your manual, beta. So go through your manual thoroughly. Few I have just listed out, but you should go through your manual. Okay.
Divya,
Anju and Anju and Divya.
Yeah.
Divya and Anju, anyone?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, Divya, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt that in organic chemistry, how should I deal with the reactions, ma'am? Every time there is different reactions and more chemical reactions. It is hard to memorize, ma'am. What should I do?
Yeah. Have you gone through and have you attended entire session?
No, ma'am. I have came at 7:30 or 7:45, ma'am.
So organic generally you have to study question wise. I have explained this. So there are types of questions asked in organic. So first start with your named reactions. So all the named reactions, write it down properly. Practice thoroughly 10 times or how many ever times you are able to remember them. Then go with other types of questions. Distinguishing test you have to do, then your reason based questions, then practice your mechanisms. So if you are going step by step, it will not be overwhelming. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The session recording also will be shared. So see that part where I have spoken about organic chemistry, how to study.
Yes, ma'am. And also I have a doubt that in which link can I go and search for the board papers with solutions, ma'am? It is really hard to search in the websites, ma'am. I've tried many and there is.
So in the CBSE sites itself, you'll get the answer, everything. So www.cbse.nic.in, there you go and search for your sample papers, board papers, everything is available.
Okay, ma'am.
And reach
Thank
out
you,
to your
ma'am.
subject teachers also. I guess they will be able to help you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's Anju also.
Anju, yeah, Anju. Please go ahead.
Anshu.
Anju.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, my doubt is related to 10th standard chemistry. While writing the chemical equation, is it necessary to balance all the equations in the answers?
Yes, ma'am. And you should give balanced chemical equations. At least 10 standard you should give.
Okay, one more doubt, ma'am. Ma'am, what about the mark distribution for the 4 chapters? Which chapter have more will come more marks?
See, as per sample paper, organic chemistry, carbon and its compounds is given more weightage, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, any questions related to practical, that is, if the question is related to what is the observation, do the students need to write the chemical equations also?
Yes.
Or just simply write the observations?
Yes. For chemistry science paper, you have to give chemical equations along with your observation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Angel, I believe Angel Ria.
Yes, Angel.
Anila.
Hello. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, my name is Anila. So, ma'am, I have doubt in carbon and its compound. We have to do for up to hexane or above from that. Only carbon 1 to carbon 6 is enough for all the naming.
Yes, yes.
It's carbon 6 up to is enough, no, ma'am?
Yeah, it is enough, but learn the root words up to 10.
Up to 10 for 10th standard.
Yes, yes. Just the root words up to 10. Mostly your questions, if you have to write IUPAC, not beyond 6 will be asked for 10 standard.
Okay, that only, ma'am. Up to, up to 6 to read, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Do we have time, Saujanya, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Two more hands
go
are there.
ahead.
Yeah,
Hi.
definitely. We'll
Angel
answer
Ria,
everyone.
go ahead.
Miss Jayashree.
Jayashree, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm handling chemistry for both 10th and 12th, and this is my first batch 12th standard, and my students are also very new. And these people have missed the basics of science during the corona period. So it was difficult for me to handle them the subject. So can you give me extra guidance where I have to be specific while handling 12th standard, ma'am? Because at 10th I am confident enough. So I don't have any issues with them. But 12th, I am not yet. I am still struggling, ma'am. So what advice can you give me, ma'am?
So, ma'am, how are all your students? Are they very, very intellectual or everybody is average?
No, ma'am. Average. Average is more, ma'am. And
Okay.
some
So,
students even have difficulty in understanding the questions. That is the problem I do have here, ma'am.
I guess you have that minimum learning material which Salam sir has circulated in the groups, right? So you take that material and make them do a lot of written practice, ma'am. As even I have guided in this session, what are the important concepts, repeated board concepts, questions I have put up, right? So take those concepts, all of those 2 slides which I have put up, take those concepts. So chapter by chapter you go and make them write and practice.
Yes, ma'am. One more request has already one of them asked. Can you share the slides one more for us through mail ID or some other way? Is it okay, ma'am?
Yeah, we will be
If
sending through the mail through which you
yes,
have
sir.
registered for this session.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Angel
Angel,
Ria,
Angel Ria.
Velu Subhash.
Hello, sir. Can you hear?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
It's not able to respond. By my mic was mute. That's why.
yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, my question is regarding electrochemistry. Whether Faraday's second law problems are necessary to be done in class or not.
See, even if Faraday's second law is asked, we can always do a unitary method to solve the question. So at least whatever questions are there in sample papers, you should be able to, you should make them solve basic questions. They will not be asked like JEE mains and high order questions, but yeah, basic question should be done by students. Hello? Is your question answered, Angel?
Velu Subhash.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ma'am, just don't mistake me. The question is that in physics, they are making very tough the question. So students are studying more about the physics and application part. And chemistry, we are getting direct questions. Now, why it is like that, ma'am?
Salam sir, how do we answer this question?
What is the question?
Physics, right? They are getting tough question, and students are studying more interestingly application part. But as far as chemistry, I have seen that most of the questions are very direct. 90% are very direct, right? Why they are not making little bit tougher so that they can study for JEE and NEET also?
You're
The
talking
school
about
itself.
board questions.
Yeah, board question. Physics
Board.
is little bit tougher, but chemistry, right? So this is just a point of view. Just I want to know that's all.
So we have no answer to this, sir. It is all done by the question paper committee.
Okay, sir.
They make it. It is the matter to be taken care of by CBSE.
Yeah, I do understand, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Subhash sir,
Yeah.
even such questions also most of the students are not able to answer. So if you go to high order questions, then you see the percentage, right? You should be happy.
Understand, ma'am. Yeah, understand, ma'am. So that the students can gain more knowledge. For some students, even though they are topper, they are constrained their level to some little extent. Now they are not going to that level of physics.
Okay, but chemistry paper is also good standard paper, sir.
Yeah, good standard, ma'am. Standard is good, but not more application point as far as physics. Chemistry, we can make little bit more application point of view.
Okay.
Are you a chemistry physics teacher, sir? Are you a physics teacher?
Chemistry, sir.
Chemistry teacher.
Sir.
Okay, then you can be happy, sir.
Yeah, it should be happy. It shouldn't be a question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Satvik.
Good evening, ma'am and sir. I'm a parent of Satvik. My name is Aruna. Ma'am, I have been listening to your entire session and you were telling to allot 3.5 hours for chemistry. 3.5 hours for chemistry. It is not possible, ma'am, to allot so much time for one subject.
So, Satvik, ma'am, you see 3.5 hours are for chemistry, I said, because if alternate days, if you are studying, or however, based on where the child is right now, you should be able to break the timing accordingly. Okay, for me, 3 hours if they study, they will go to a perfect 100. So if you are saying that you want to make your child study for 2 hours, that's up to you. There is no like a hard rule that you have to make him study for 3 hours. It
Ma'am,
depends on
basically,
where he is. Yeah.
the school is still working. So with the school itself, 7 hours is going, and 3.5 into 4 is like no time to sleep. That's what I've been observing.
Okay, yeah, that goes in the PL days, but non-PL days, at least 90 minutes is what I recommend.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful session. For the parents, you have given us a lot of confidence to help our children. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I believe that's it for now.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you
Anyone
so
else?
much. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Saujanya ma'am. A big round of applause for you. Excellent guidance given. Excellent guidance, and there was a huge effort you have, put in to prepare the presentation. Definitely, it was a beautiful presentation. All the areas were covered, and all the participants are so happy, and their confidence level also went up. So you are a wonderful teacher, I should admit. So thank you so much for your effort and your presentation. Definitely, this is going to help a lot of students and teachers as well. So may God bless you. That is what I can say now. And keep, educating us, helping helping the educators. So thank you once again. Gratitude from Extra Mile, and all on behalf of everybody, I extend a heartfelt thanks to you once again, and also to Monica ma'am for the great help you have done. Your presence is very much, helpful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's all under your able guidance. Thank you so much.
So all
Thank
the
you,
participants.
Salam sir. Thank you so much for your guidance. And thank you so much for this platform, beautiful platform. I'm very happy today with all your appreciating words also. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. And we had a lot of, registrations, and many could not join as well. But we will be sharing this video with them because the room was full. We couldn't help many students also joined. So thank you for the wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
We will be sharing, with your permission, we will be sharing the PDF with the teachers and students, so so that they can make use of it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good night. Good night, everybody. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, sir. Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
night.